In 2019, teams from 7 nations from the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO, working together as Technical Activity MSG 145, completed technology development for a major step forward, supporting international cooperation in military operations. They completed the third phase of a decade-long cooperative effort to show how information technology can improve coordination and effectiveness of military coalition operations. Military operations are very complex activities. As a result, they need networked computer information technology called command and control, or C2 systems, to coordinate the flow of orders to military units and to report back from those units, keeping the commander and staff informed on the state of the operation so the right actions are taken at the right time for success, whether in battle, peacekeeping or humanitarian support. In recent years, powerful new software has been developed to help the military answer critical what-if questions in the complex domain of military operations, predicting the result of any action under a set of conditions. This simulation software keeps track of thousands of variables involved in the operations and shows the most likely result based on all this information. C2 Sim is about C2 systems interoperating with simulation systems. It involves complexity on top of complexity. Using simulations inside C2 systems provides a powerful tool for support of training, mission rehearsal, and analysis of proposed plans, which requires linking these powerful and complex software systems together. Until now, this has required either a human to copy information between C2 and simulation systems, or custom-built software interfaces for each system involved. C2 Sim, previously called Battle Management Language, provides a way to link the systems so that orders and reports flow directly between C2 and simulation systems, and it can work among different C2 and simulation systems used in coalition operations involving military of multiple nations, providing a very important capability called interoperability.
I'm a retired British Army officer. Why is this important? As we digitise the army, or all armies across NATO, we need to be able to use more tools such as modelling and simulation tools and simulation to support our planning for operations, and the C2 Sim standard will enable us to do that much better.
C2 Sim enables a long-sought military capability, train as you fight, supporting coalition collective training, planning and mission rehearsal. There also have been creatives used in acquisition and operational training for cyber EW environments. Orders reach the simulations automatically, and reports with status of operations flow back just as they do in operations with real forces.
Currently, military operations in coalition face more complex information interoperability challenges than single nations. Our work with C2 Sim is based on the standards that are developed by the Simulation Interoperability Standard organizations. In the previous phase, we tested CISO standards like MSDL and CBMLs, and they are first generation standards. We have made some recommendations to improve them and to bring them into one single and more flexible standards. In response, the CISO has developed the C2 Sim standard that is currently tested by the MSG 145.
The goal of being able to interoperate military simulations with military command and control in coalitions has been an important goal to us for a very long time. For about the past decade, we've actually been working on making it real. We went through technical feasibility and then military utility, and now we're in the process of wrapping up a standard. So the standard draft is ready, and what we're doing now is a process of validation to make sure it really works before we standardize it. We're looking forward to great results.
And for that, the C2 Sim standard will be a major step ahead, and because it will help to smooth interoperability among the C2 and the simulation system through the C2 Sim extension mechanism. The ontology will help also to smooth the automatic transformation of messages using the vocabulary of the different extensions in the standard.
MSG 145 is devoting its last year, 2019, to the evaluation of C2 Sim. The national teams have committed to an extensive evaluation of the draft C2 Sim standard by their military subject matter experts. This will start with the individual nations testing via internet, then proceed to join NATO's annual Coalition Warrior Interoperability Experiment and conclude with a mission planning exercise distributed to national sites via the internet.
MSG 145 has educated the military simulation and training by presenting C2 Sim at the ITSEC and ITEC conferences yearly. The version of C2 Sim demonstrated is more advanced every year.
The demonstration of today is coming from an experience in the Sea Weeks of 2018. As Mark said, we will be present also in Sea Weeks of 2019. And the big piece of news is that the platform will be moved on our MSAS cloud platform that is hosted in our center.
MSG 145 participated in Sea Weeks starting in 2017 with 2 simulation systems. In 2018 we completed a more comprehensive set of tests driven by the Norwegian Command and Control Information System NORSIS together with a web interface called SWAP. Sea Weeks 2019 provided an even more complete set of tests with more participants inspired by the new Modeling and Simulation as a Service capability developed by another NATO team.
The experiments included systems from 6 nations, including NATO Partner for Peace nations. In just 4 months, all of the national teams implemented the new version of C2 Sim in 10 software systems for testing in Sea Weeks.
An appropriate interface for the German legacy simulation system Cora has been implemented and tested in different experimentation events, including Sea Weeks and ITSEC 2018 and 2019, as well as during the mini-CACs at the M&S Center of Excellence in Rome in July 2019.
The latest version of C2 Sim includes a technical breakthrough. The standard is now defined as an ontology and implemented using a technique for transformation from ontology to extensible markup language, invented by members of the CISO C2 Sim development group.
We pulled together a set of ontologies that capture a wealth of information about the interface of C2 with simulation. The information is arranged in multiple ontologies that are used as layers and merged into one single ontology. It contains a basic information core, a layer with standard military information, and another layer with information about military land operations.
MSG 145 has been expanding on previous success. The distributed mission planning exercise builds on a successful activity conducted in 2013 at Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. At the conclusion of the previous MSG phase, it demonstrated the military utility of C2 Sim. That activity interoperated 5 national C2 systems with 6 national simulations. Some of the simulations were connected via internet, but most systems and all of the human participants were at Fort Leavenworth. CISO has produced a second-generation standard in response to previous findings and operated in a realistic mode where military role-player participants work over a network as they would in a real operation. The latest evaluation uses the second-generation standard. In 2019, MSG 145 conducted a new distributed mission planning exercise based at the NATO Modelling and Simulation Centre of Excellence in Rome, Italy, but actually distributed over a virtual private network using internet communications. 6 nations participated at the Rome site, Germany and Italy, with Sweden as an observer, via internet New Zealand, United Kingdom and 2 sites in the USA. The Mini-X participants learned a great deal that will be necessary for operational C2 Sim-based exercises, and they concluded that the draft C2 Sim they used is ready to be balloted by CISO for operational use. MSG 145 demonstrated its experimental work at ITSEC 2019 focusing on C2 SIM extensions in air operations and autonomous systems. MSG 145 is already working to create a NATO standardisation agreement, or STANAG, based on the CISO C2 SIM. This will provide firm guidance that all NATO nations should implement C2 SIM.
The current task group, MSG 145, has been an integral part of developing the C2 SIM standard and in testing its applicability to defence through a number of military use cases. It is providing the evidence and the assessment of benefits needed to recommend and initiate the process of NATO standardisation and STANAG ratification. The potential benefits to interoperability amongst the NATO nations will be significant, particularly to reduce the manpower cost to joint C2 training, enhancing operational planning and decision making, and enabling a future human-machine defence and security force.
MSG 145 has been keeping the NATO Computer Assisted Exercise, or CAX, forum informed about its work. This year they described the standard validation process and the autonomous systems extension that was tested in the Mini X. The exercise operators are looking forward to the new capability, and of course MSG 145 and its partner CISO C2 SIM are looking forward to seeing their work used to improve NATO's capability for military operations.